Welcome to the segment, SEG Realty's monthly market update. So let's dive right in. Basically, the housing market has experienced a strong V-shaped recovery, and we're actually exceeding pre-pandemic levels. So let's talk about what that looks like. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, we've actually gone above where we were before the pandemic started. And there's basically four components that we look at, key metrics that we look at. We look at the demand, we look at supply, we look at price, and we look at time on the market, or otherwise days on the market. So the year-over-year changes in key metrics are going to be really important, because what they do is tell us a story, right? They tell us that showings are up, purchase appointments are up, pending deals are up, or under contracts are up, and existing home sales are up, and new home sales. So that's just the difference between a new construction and a resale. What it is showing us, however, is that we're gonna run into a glitch to keep this momentum up because of inventory. So inventory is where you can see it's kind of like saying, stop, we have an issue. And one of the interesting things about the inventory being an issue is that when I'm talking to people, they often say, I see so many signs, there's so many for sale signs on the lawns, and they're not actually recognizing that we are in a very strong seller's market, and we are very much undersupplied. So the big question is, can we keep it up? Can we keep it up? So what is going to determine whether we can keep it up? Well, obviously, for one, it's going to be months of inventory. Like any other business, months of inventory is simply just supply and demand. So when we talk about months of inventory, it's important that we sort of understand what that means in terms of our market. So the federal government will tell you that if we have 6 to 7 months of inventory, we're in a neutral market, which basically means it's neither a seller market or a buyer market. If there's less inventory than that, which means that there's less than 6 to 7 months of supply on the market, then you start to go into a seller's market. And if there's more supply, you start to go into a buyer's market. And that's kind of what this is showing you. So let's go deep into what our local towns look like as it comes to those key market metrics. So these are snapshots that we do for all of the towns that we represent. And basically it is just that. It kind of just hits on the key metrics for each town. And if you are interested in getting the metrics for your town, just reach out at info@segrealty.com. And so let's just pick Closter for a minute. So if you look at Closter, which is right here, you could see that this is again a year to date, so October over October. The months of inventory is down 63.16%. The homes that are under contract, so pending demand, is up 29%. Homes sold up 33%. And the median price point for that town is up 18.5%. That is a major story. Closter, good job. So you can take a look even at Haworth, and you could see Haworth's months of inventory down, homes under contract up, homes sold up. And here you have the median price point is down. That just is telling us what's selling in that price range, in that area. So let's take a quick look at Tenafly, Demarest, Englewood, and Alpine. So let's take a quick look over at Tenafly. So Tenafly, if you could see over here, Tenafly has its months of inventory year over year is down 60.47%. I mean, that is just an outstanding number to me. And yet, with that much inventory down, we're actually up in our under contracts 43%, and we're up in homes sold 39.74%, and our median price is up 6.87%. The question is, can we keep this up? Can we keep this up? Is the market going to accelerate faster than people can afford? Number one. Number two, are we going to see a pushback simply because we don't have the inventory? And why is that? Why is that? So one of the things we can talk about quickly is simply that this is not essentially where we were in 2008. And one of the biggest reasons is because the percentage of homeowners that have good equity in their house is so different than where it was. So if you look at the percentage of homeowner equity nationally, you see that there's 42.1% of the families that have strong equity in their houses. That did not look like this in 2008. Future home price indicators. So nationally, the experts are saying that, most experts are saying that house prices are going to continue to appreciate. Continue to appreciate. These are just all the different people that are sourced. And nationally, what we're saying is that home prices are going to continue to appreciate. So that's for the people who are saying, should I wait? Should I hold on? Should I do it now? Should I do it later? This is something to keep in mind. Again, a very different market from the increase in delinquencies following the housing bubble. Lending standards have also been fairly solid, and most of the homeowners have equity in their houses, and they'll be able to restructure loans if in fact we do have issues with foreclosures. So this is a cool stat. Since the beginning of COVID, nearly 400,000 fewer homes have hit the market. So because we have less homes, prices have accelerated. Prices have also accelerated because, of course, interest rates have stayed so low. We have people coming out from the city, and it's been an enormous exodus from New York City. However, and this is something really important, it's not just the New York City buyers, the tri-state area buyers, Hoboken, Brooklyn, it's not just them. Our own residents locally from all of our towns are living in their houses in a way that they've not lived in them before, right? Multi-generational living, the kids coming home from college. They also have a lot of equity in their houses. So they are also wanting that upgrade. And it's such an amazing time to upgrade because, again, money is not expensive right now. It's inexpensive to buy right now. So homeowners who want to upgrade are one reason. Exodus from the city is another reason. Interest rates staying low, and we are still in a shortage of inventory. And one of the other reasons for that is that people are not quite sure where to go. As homeowners gain equity, they're more likely to consider using that equity to purchase a larger and more attractive home. In summary, here's the message. We are in a very strong seller's market, despite how many signs you may or may not see on the lawns. It's an amazing time to be a seller, to recognize the equity that you have in your home. There's no wrong time to be a seller in this market. It's not seasonal right now. There's no season at this moment. Inventory shortage, upward pressure on pricing, less competition as sellers leave the market. Buyers are in the market are much more serious right now. There's a spike in that buyer activity, record low interest rates, and the window is open now, and that may change. That may change. Buyers, be the strongest buyer. Make sure that you're pre-approved. Do all your homework up front, so when that right house comes on the market, you are ready. For information on the value of your home or what you need to do to get your home ready for market, we are always here to help you. info@segrealty.com. For some fun, lighthearted stuff, I've recorded some of the DIY stuff we do for our homes when we stage them. We stage every single home, and it's a hobby of mine to actually make some of the centerpieces that accessorize and accentuate the coffee tables and the kitchen countertops. It's pretty easy and it's fun, so take a look. So today what I'm doing is I'm combining some organic material with some flowers, and it's going to be in a new house we're launching. So this is just actually a piece of driftwood, and I got this at an art supply store, and it's a little bit heavy, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I love the colors and all the natural wood and the way that the colors kind of washed off. So you have like taupes, tans, grays, and natural wood. And I like adding organic elements into a house. I just feel like it's a little bit warm. I sort of saw this as being something that had to do with organic, orchids, and then with wood. So my eye was telling me that essentially I needed to have about 3 of them, and I was gonna put them into this driftwood piece. Somehow you wanna make it balanced, and then you just wanna fill in a little bit with touches of moss. These are what they call real touch fake flowers. They do have like a little bit of a rubbery texture. The cool thing with fake flowers is they're not fragile. I basically kill everything that's alive. When you're working with faux flowers, there's wires in all of these pieces. So at some point you're gonna wanna cut something shorter. You're gonna need to get some form of a real wire cutter. And the longer the stem, the harder it's gonna be for me to hide. Now, understand when you're doing this, you really need the piece to look good from both sides. It can't just look good from the camera side, because when people come in the house to look at the house, it has to look good from both sides. So I'm gonna use this little dent here in the wood, and I'm gonna glue this one down. Once I get it secure, I can always play with the petals, the leaves. See how pretty that is? Because it's higher than the rest, and even when you're looking from this way, you're gonna be able to see it. So I like that a lot. I'm gonna make this one as if it's sort of growing and stretching off of the edge. I sort of love the way that looks. So one of the cool things about the flowers is that you can like mold them. I can mold them, I could stretch them out, and then I could basically create. I'm gonna do a little bending before I glue it, just so I don't have to manipulate it quite as much once it's secure. I can glue some of the petals down too, which is gonna help the base stay put. And this is just a run-of-the-mill hot glue gun. This one down a little. It's beautiful, honestly, even if we just stop there, I think it's so pretty and it just looks natural, and it just looks like the orchids are sort of growing. Now I'm gonna take my reindeer moss and I'm gonna just fill in a little bit, not a lot. And I'm gonna put the moss as if it was growing organically. And of course, when it's growing organically, it doesn't grow perfectly, it doesn't grow all in the same spot. So I like the idea of putting patches just randomly. So I kind of like the idea of it seeming very organic and that it's a little haphazard. So I would think I'm gonna do something over on here. So I just spray a little glue in here, like that. See if I have any stems. I think I have a stem in there, so I'm gonna spray here so I can cover that stem inside. Just push these leaves out a little bit more. And honestly, like I would just call it a day. That's it, that's pretty.